Okay, guys, here's the deal. I actually assigned you, I think this is a biology or chemistry assignment on Khan Academy. I noticed some of you struggling with this the last day or two. Some of you are getting like 1 out of 4 or 2 out of 4. And I'm like going, seriously? How hard could it be to learn about sex-linked traits, right? It's something everyone ought to at least be familiar with. All right? And frankly, this is probably more exciting than learning math anyways, right? So I thought for fun, yes, this is fun for me, I would do this for you and teach you in the process, all right? Now, what I did was I, of course, searched it on Khan Academy. That's the one I'm going to click on here, all right? Because that was one of your classmates struggling with it, I noticed. And here's what I found is there's, of course, some notes on it. That's what article means. That's the little bent over page symbol that you've hopefully become somewhat familiar with on Khan Academy. But this is definitely something I would do notes on. Take pictures and send to your science teacher. Prove to them that you actually care and you're putting in the effort. Okay, that's what I would do for extra. Maybe he or she will give you extra credit if you do that. Show some initiative, all right? Of course, there's a couple decent videos. I've watched them in the past. But this is the one I clicked on. I'm pretty sure it's the same one that you were struggling with, some of you out there. And I assigned it to everybody for fun. Just think, remember, this is extra credit stuff, guys. It's going to help your grade. It's never going to hurt your grade. That's my promise to you. So why not give it a try? And when you do it for me, you're going to do it for your science teacher at the same time. Okay? So again, here it is right here. Practice sex-linked traits. Okay? Oh, here's another set of notes that you can do. And here too, a lot of notes. I know it's a lot more notes in science that you can do for your science teacher. But anyways, here's a typical page I came across, and I of course scanned through it to try to re-familiarize myself with X-linked traits and genes and so on, and how genes can combine when you have kids, which I thought, again, was interesting to think about. Here is what you call the Punnett square or whatever set up to show you all. By the way, guys, do you notice the math involved in this? I hope you do. A lot of logic, common sense, rationalizing you do. And this is why the math I teach you, by the way, is important. It's not the algebra that you do is important. It's the thinking behind it that's training your brain to think better, guys, to become a smarter person. Okay? Think about that. But anyways, here's the first question that I came across. We know some people are colorblind. Sad as that may be true, you can't see colors when you're colorblind, right? Now, the good news is these traits are usually recessive. Matter of fact, all of them are pretty much recessive traits. In other words, the more common, like all of us seeing color, why more people are able to see color? Because it's a dominant trait. And most of us, therefore, once we get the dominant trait, if we have the recessive colorblind trait in our bodies, it's going to win out. That's the bottom line. But anyways, we know the woman is a carrier. Now, what that means, guys, is a woman is always XX. A guy is always XY. And what we just found out is, you see, the woman's a carrier. That means they're telling you the woman's not colorblind. What does that mean? The woman has a dominant, let's say, color awareness trait. In other words, this woman can see color. She's a carrier, but she has that recessive gene, you see. But she also has that recessive baby colorblind gene in there, you see. But again, the dominant color seeing trait is going to win out over the tiny little colorblind trait, you see. But of course, the woman now, her husband being XY, they tell you that the man is colorblind. What that means, guys, is a man being colorblind means that man has that little C trait. The X is the chromosome that carries all of our traits, by the way. The Y is, the only important thing about the Y is a smaller chromosome. Excuse me there. I actually dropped my iPad, obviously. The Y chromosome, guys, is a smaller chromosome, and its main job is to make us guys, for us that are guys. If you're a girl, then you have both XXs. But the Y, the only thing it can win over the X is it can make us into guys. Okay? So, anyways, let's just use some common sense and logic here. Matter of fact, let's do a Punnett square. If we know it's X big C, X little c for the mom, and X little c and Y for the dad, what are our 4 possible combinations? Well, we could have X big C, that's little c, and X little c. Or, it's like doing area model. We could have X little c and X little c, right? Combining these two. Over here we're going to have, obviously, what could happen is we could have X big C and the Y. In other words, that's big C, so this is going to be a boy or a son that's not colorblind because of the big C, see? But of course, what could also happen is the Y could combine with the X little c, so we'll get an X little c with a Y. So here we have a son that's colorblind, okay? And those are our 4 possibilities, guys. So, using logic, are all sons carriers? No. I just showed you right here, we have a son that is totally color awareness, right? Color aware, no recessive color blindness gene in him, right? So that's wrong, you see? Are all sons colorblind? Again, same logic. We have a son there that actually isn't colorblind. We have 2 choices. It says here, no daughters are colorblind. That's wrong, because right down here, see guys, this is the only way a woman can be colorblind is if both of the X genes are recessive little c's. See? Most women, as you can see here, will have the dominant color gene in it. So by logic and deduction, here's what we have. And here is my explanation you ought to understand. Look at the red. See, the girls are your XXs here. I just boxed in red. You have 2 possibilities. See, this girl is not colorblind, but still has a recessive gene. Hence, like her mother, that girl is a carrier. Okay? But of course, you have the other daughter where both of the genes are little baby C's. In other words, no dominant gene's going to win out. That poor girl is going to be colorblind. So there's your other option. So that's why the answer is D. Bottom line, what's going to happen in this scenario, you see, with a mother carrying the gene, if she has a daughter, they're either going to be colorblind or at least carry the colorblind gene to the next generation. Sad but true. All right, let's do another one. This one we're talking about muscular dystrophy. Nasty disease, guys. Now, thank God, again, it's a recessive gene. Okay? So not a bunch of us, only a few of us are unfortunate enough to get it. Okay? But it's a nasty disease if you know anyone or are aware of it. But anyways, so little d is going to represent the disease. Big D means you have a dominant gene that's going to win out and fight muscular dystrophy. Okay? You're not going to have it, in other words. All right? Now, it says neither parent has it. What that means is the parent either has a recessive gene or doesn't, though. Okay? But both parents have at least the dominant gene. So we already know, just by common sense, both of them are X big Ds. Okay? Now, the dad, you see, has to have just a regular old Y to be a dad. Okay? But now here, you see, what could happen is the mother could be an X with a little d, or the mother could be an X with a big D. Now, both their sons expressed a trait. In other words, both their sons unfortunately have it. So what that means, guys, is this one here can't happen. See, if the mom's the only one that's going to give this X trait over here to the guy, with the guy, you see. The father, the only thing the father's going to do is give the Y. You see that? So, using logic, there's no way the mom could be totally dominant X gene, X big D, because there's no way she could give the disease in. The only way she could give the disease, you see, if she has a recessive gene. So if you look at your choices, we just discussed that one can't happen. That one can't happen. See how the mom's has both genes being dominant. Obviously, the mother's the one you see that gives the bad gene. And so therefore, logically, that can happen. So we know it's either this one or this one. But as I discussed with you guys, we know that neither parent has it. See, this one can't happen for the dad, because if the dad has that little d, guys, the dad has muscular dystrophy. We know neither parent, look up here, has it. So that means the dad, period, is clear of the disease. The mom has a recessive gene. So therefore, again, that one's wrong. Sorry, that one is the correct one. Sorry, I get myself confused. Because this one here, again, is wrong. Why? Because that right there would guarantee that the guy himself, the father, had the disease, which we know he did not. Should we stop it there, guys, or do one more? Let's do one more. Let's say we had some flies. Okay? Now, what we have to understand is most flies have red eyes. Most flies have the big W, in other words. Okay? Some flies, though, have white eyes. They have the little w. Little w meaning the bad W. Okay? And they just told us the exact makeup of the parent. So guess what, guys? Let's just do a Punnett square, if that's what you call it. We know the male is X big W with a Y. And we know the mother is X big W with X little w. Okay? So what can happen? Well, both of them could give the X big W. So that means you have a girl fly, okay, that has both XWs and therefore have red eyes. Remember, big W is red eyes. What else could happen? The X big W could match up with the little XW or the X little w. And so we have an X big W, but also X little w. This fly is still going to have red eyes, but it has the recessive gene. This is what we call a carrier. Even though it does not have the white eyes, it's still a carrier for the white eyes, you see? What else could happen? Well, we could have the X big W match up with the Y. X big W with a Y. So what we have here, guys, is a male fly that has red eyes. Remember, big W is red eyes. Okay? Finally, we could have the X little w match up with the Y. That's a little w right there, meaning white eyes. And since that's the only X gene that a boy gets, what we have is another male here, you see right here, that has white eyes. So, if you want to know the percent of them that have white eyes, it's only 1 out of 4, which is 25%. Now, they're asking for female specifically. So, guys, look carefully. Here and here are the only females. These are your guys down here, right? Notice both of the females will have red eyes. One of them will be a carrier, one of them will be totally red dominant. So, what is the probability that the female has white eyes? We would say 0%. Why? Because, as I'd already discussed, you either have this where you have both big W's in them, or we could have a girl with only one little w in it, and little w loses to big W. You see? This one again would be a carrier, but would still have red eyes. So guys, there's probably at least one or two more you have to do. All right. And matter of fact, we'll just skip that one. The video's running long. If you don't understand how to do Punnett squares, guys, and understand what I explained to you, shame on you. Okay? But seriously, joking aside, I hope I did a very good job teaching it. If I didn't, just let me know. I'll do another video with more example problems in it, and we'll discuss them as detailed as possible. Okay? See you around.